Hey guys, what's up? This is the first of a four-part video I want to do on this topic. Part one is going to be how to flip with a 1 mil cash stack. Okay, so this is when you're just starting out flipping and you don't have much money sitting around. There's still a good amount of cheap items that have really good profit margins, which means it's always a good time to learn the basics at least for flipping on the GE. Um, so I went over it in my intro video, which I posted a couple days before this. Watch that if you want the super in-depth intro to flipping. Um, for right now, we're just gonna start our flips for tonight. First off, we have to open RuneLight. We have to open our prices.wiki, and we have to open our calculator app. Okay, I pin my calculator to my toolbar for this reason. Um, so feel free to do that. I'm also going to put the Prices Wiki link in the description for the video, so check that if you still need it. Inventory. Um, you need your cash stack, and since this video is how to flip with 1 mil, we're going to withdraw 1 mil. You need your rune pouch. I put just law, dust, and fire is the only important ones. I use house tellies and Varrock tellies is pretty much it. Okay, now very first priority, I mean, this is like shit easy, by the way. Start by going to claim your Varrock Diary rewards. They refresh at like 8 p.m. every day. So I made 147,600. Okay, so let's pretend that you buy battle staffs from Zaf using your achievement diary rewards for Varrock. If you get the elite done, he lets you buy 120 battle staffs for 7,000 apiece, and right now on the GE they sell for around 8,200 each. Okay, so you're looking at a pretty good profit. And if you have as little as 1 mil, they insta sell. So you make over 100k profit, and you start yourself off even better. And not to mention, it takes almost zero time. Telly there, telly back to the Grand Exchange, and you're good. Our 1.1 mil from doing our battle staff trade in. And at the start of your login, you can also do a farm run if that's like, if you're motivated enough to do those. That'll net you like an extra 200k spending money if you sell the herbs right away. So consider that. But anyway, so at low prices, you need to look for mid to low value items in small quantities, like 5 to 10 of them tops. What this does is it helps us diversify what we're investing in, and it gives us the best chance of items coming in. Because if you invest in a low value item, not low value, low volume, the odds that more than one of the item comes in is pretty low, and that cuts into your profits. So the next thing we do, now that we have our cash stack and our rune pouch, we are going to put filters on our wiki. Okay, so we've opened up the prices.wiki homepage. Apply filters. It's gonna change compared to the intro video because this is specifically for 1 mil cash stack starting. Okay, so our buy price is going to be a minimum of 10,000. Buy price is going to be a maximum of 100,000. Okay, and then our daily volume has to be at least 30 so that we know a couple of the item at least can possibly come in, and then a max of like 2,000 just so we don't get items like, you know, stamina potions and like really commonly traded stuff, because those don't often have good margins. And then we apply them, and we have 8 pages. Now all we do is sort by margin. Okay, so excuse me, descending margin, so we see the high ones first, the good ones. So I actually took the liberty of starting and looking through a few, but these are all ones that I have found since I started playing 31 minutes ago. You can see my little timer right there. So it does not take very long. But here we go. The first one that I found that has a great margin is Bob's red shirt. So first off, a lot of these have good margins, but when you click on them, you realize that the price spikes insanely for no reason at all, which means later it's just going to drop right back down. These have a normal margin of about, well shit, nothing here, but a big margin there, but that's not, I don't trust that trade. So that's not our item. Refilter by margin. But when I went to Bob's red shirt, I noticed that that margin has been there all day long. Okay, so I don't want to be unrealistic. I want it to actually buy. So I am going to set an offer for 41,000. And I'm going to teach you guys about an important concept that I forgot when I was doing my intro video. So undercutting and overcutting offers, undercutting and overcutting offers. When you are flipping, you really do want your item to buy and to sell as quickly as possible while keeping your profit large. In order to do that, you need to put in an offer that will beat out other people who are trying to get a bargain. So by offering just 1 GP higher than our 41,000 mark, we will beat anybody who like lazily typed it in at just the flat zeros, okay? And that's also why I did 41,000 instead of just matching the current price. If some other person merching is looking to get the best deal, they might offer 40k plus 1 GP and buy them out. Or I could just offer 1k higher and take that person off guard, and boom, we'll get the item. Okay, so I'm going to put an offer for 2 Bob's red shirts. Okay. Being that they don't have a high volume, I'm only going to put an offer for 2, right? So what would we say? 41,001. Okay, and we'll see if those buy. I'm going to record this in 2 sessions. I'm going to record it one time now, and then it's about 11:30 at night, but I'm going to log off, and then the next time I play, I'll check back in on them and see how they went, and I'll post the whole video. Okay, so that's the first item we're looking at is Bob's red shirt. Okay, now the second one, got to sort by margin again, of course, was the Mystic Hat Dusk. This one looks okay, alright? I am not going to choose to invest in it because realistically today, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 buys at this ridiculous price, whereas down here it has a lot of sells. Okay, yeah. So this margin isn't as good as it seems. Don't be fooled by big spikes like this. I can't stress that enough, which is why I keep bringing it up. But yeah, it hasn't sold. It took 10 p.m. It took 15 hours for another one to sell at 90k compared to earlier. So you do not want to be waiting that long in your flips. Your flips should probably go off about every 4 hours. If you've got the time to play, that is. If you only got time to log in once a day, that's perfectly fine. And the Mind Shield, I didn't see that one earlier. Let's check that one out. So I'm not paying attention to this big spike up here. This is a fluke. I'm looking for a trend. Okay. And by the way, you can just left click and drag here, and it highlights portions of the item graph for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overcut the low prices here. All right. So I see that it was consistently buying at like 33k just about. So I'm going to put an offer for 34,001, and I'm going to attempt to sell it later for probably like 54k. Okay, so Mind Shield. What did I say I was going to do? 34, yeah. 34,005, because why not? Now these have an okay margin, or volume, excuse me. They have 260, so I'll go like 5 of them. And we're still working with about 900k, so this is like, we're diversifying pretty well right now. Okay, so we go back, we flip our margins again, and I do not like worship the margin. The margin is a great starting place. It is not your final decider. You should always click on the item and actually check the graph, okay? If you do not check the graph, you will run into items like this one where you think you're going to make 99K off every single one that you buy, and you didn't pay attention to the graph and you realize it's going to just plummet back down anyway. Alright, so yeah, heavy on the don't worship the margin, only use it as a starting point. So from there, a lot of what falls into this category is going to be clue items. I mean, you guys probably see here, you got the god robes, you got the gold trimmed items, you know, the weird cosmetic tradables. I don't like that one. That one doesn't look good either. They were flat up until this point, so that one's a no for me. And the goal of this really is to just show you guys the live process, and that way you can kind of learn how I think while I do it. I don't think I like this margin. Okay, cool. So, Ceridome legs, those look okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that's another one that I actually searched for earlier, so anyway. Look at that margin, very healthy all day long. This graph covers 1 day, by the way. There's a drop-down menu here that you can use it to swap for longer time periods, but anything beyond 1 day is more about curiosities than actually helping you determine a trend for your flipping, okay? Because, like, yeah, sure, you could see the prices over a year, I guess, but it doesn't really benefit you much. So 1 day. Today's margin looks great for these things, so we're going to put in an offer at probably 57 because I really want these. What are they called? Ceridome and robe legs. 57001, remember, because we are overcutting. And God, I bet we could literally get like 8 of these. No, I don't want to dump that much of our cash in, so we'll get 6 of them. Okay. Sort by our margin again. And you'll notice they actually change positions occasionally because a new buy will come through. The page updates like every 5 minutes. This could be really good for us, actually. Okay, so do not abuse spikes. That is for sure. Trying to cash in on an item spike is like trying to predict the future, and it just almost never works out. Okay, but this one just bought for dirt cheap. If you want to put a throwaway offer in for like 40K, you might get lucky and catch it on the way back up, and then you can sell it when it returns to normal up here. So I'm going to pop in an offer for 2 of them at 40K, you know, nothing crazy. God, there's a lot of those. Pink elegant blouse. We'll do 40K. And only an 80K investment, and if they return to 80K, I could make a lot, but they have a low volume, they have a low buy limit, they may not come through. We'll see. Remember, investing on a pointless one that you really think is going to fail is like throwing your money away. So that's why I didn't offer too many of them. I'm only investing 80K. That's not too much. All right. Next. Oh yeah, something I wanted to talk about was the columns on the wiki. You can open the columns up and get rid of the useless ones. Okay, there are some in here that kind of mislead you mathematically, so the margin times volume you get rid of, the potential profit you get rid of, and you can also get rid of the buy limit because that's not really too consequential most of the time. Plus, when you click on the item here, you can see the buy limit still. So, being that you're supposed to visit the page every time you want to check a margin, you end up being able to check the buy limit naturally. And okay, moving on. So we're going to invest the rest of our 470K, and then I'm going to end the video. I already went longer than I intended, so my bad. Remember, this is your daily volume column, so keeping an eye on this one will help you determine how realistic it is that your deal goes through. I don't like that one because the spikes are too few, so we're going to back out of this one. Sort it by the margin again. And drop swamp, huh? I mean, we could make like an 11k profit off of each of these, so we can still flip them. Let's go 36001 for the jar of swamp. Kind of a low volume too, so let's go with just like buying 2 of them, I guess. I usually wouldn't be this meticulous with diversifying, but it's for the purpose of the tutorial, so we're really getting in depth. Usually I'd be lazy and just throw it all on like mine shields or the red shirts or some shit and hope for the best. But if you're patient, you can make a ton of money. You have to be patient and attentive. Holy shit. Man, those just aren't buying very low. That sucks. The margin was nice. Alright. 134 of these. Okay. Damn. That margin sucks. I'm going to start to speed it up because I don't want to drag the video on too long. Love this margin right here. Okay, this is plenty. I bet you we could even put in an offer like above these and still profit a really good amount. So let's put in for, I'm going to put it right above this one. So 38001. They trade at a high volume in comparison to some of the stuff we've done. So what was it? 38001. Yeah. Let's just go for 8. I mean, they trade at 290 daily volume, and the buy limit's 8, so yeah, that works. We got 97k remaining. Let's try. I bet you we can get one more decent item. Just had a mine shield pop in. That's nice. Gnome goggles, 78 a day, huh? No. That one looks like one you might be able to catch on the valley, but looks a little risky. Let's look at some of the other god robes. Those look decent. Gothix has 102 daily volume. Yeah, that's not bad at all. Actually, one I wanted to check specifically was cloaks. Cloaks are a great clue item, and they always have a healthy margin. So like the Zami cloak, 16k. Oh, lovely. I love it. Yep, so they only cost 50. They're pretty cheap. I'm just going to go for the Zami cloak to prove a point here, but yeah, think about it. If you invest only 51k and you make a 16k profit by flipping it up to the here, you're making 1/3 of what you invested. 33% is profit. That's like huge as far as bang for your buck goes, right? So let's invest 51k, get the Zamorak cloak, and hope that one plays out. I'm overcutting by 100 GP. You'll kind of get the feel for it. Whatever you feel like helps you, and just go from there. So yeah, that is all my flips for the night. All right, we used our battle staff profit and we invested 1.1 mil into the GE. Okay, in the morning or just tomorrow, whenever I get to it, I am going to record everything that bought for the prices it bought at, abort all the offers that haven't fully finished, and then I'm going to sell them all at whatever price they're going for at that time and see what kind of profit we come out with. We are back. We're going to start our second part of our little GE journey here. We've got our leftover cash from last night, 46,257. We've got our rune pouch, and we are going to check what offers actually bought for us. And then we're going to, oh, that looks real nice. That looks real nice. Wow, look at all that green. We had a few that didn't end up panning out, but honestly, I mean, that's exactly what you want to see. Okay. The second an offer gets finished and collected, it'll go into your history. Right now it's not there because they're still sitting in my GE. Okay. So I'm just going to go through them one by one to kind of make the, oh, look at that, they sold it exactly what I wanted them to. I'm going to go in and see what all they gave me for deals, get my cash back for the elegant blouses, get my jars of swamp, my bandos bracers, and my Zammy cloak. Okay, so we ended up taking 164k cash back that ended up coming back from aborting the bracers and the elegant blouse offers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit up the wiki again, and we're going to pop offers in for what they what we think we can sell them for. So here's my Zammy cloak. Okay, still looks like they're consistently coming up around this area. Call it 64,499. Set it right in the middle, like right around here. 64,499. Confirm that. Let's check out Bob's red shirts. Bob's red shirt, excuse me. Alright. Okay, oof. They did have a spike. They did have a spike. So, let's put it in for below this one. Because it is possible it does spike back up. I know I said not to be unrealistic, but glue items have volatile prices. Okay. So, we're going to see what happens. We're going to put it at 88k. That should be fine. 88k each. Now we're going to take a look at the mine shields. Alright. And like I said, we're not going to pay attention to these huge spikes up here. We're going to pay attention to the consistent margin that we can get right below this point. So we'll do 55,999. So sell it right under this point. $9.99. Perfect. Now for these Ceradomin robe legs. And they were coming in all day at this amount, so I'm going to be patient and hold out. I'm going to throw them in at 81,999. Alright, we're going to take a look at the jar of swamp. Swamp, there we go. Let's put them in for 47,999. And last thing is the bandos bracers. I bought them for 38k. That margin is still looking great. You love to see that. We're going to put them in for 57,999. Remember, we're always undercutting sell offers and overcutting buy offers. Okay, now our actual profits may end up landing slightly lower than this because maybe, you know, these don't end up selling. We may take losses. That's what flipping is all about. You know, there is some risk. We're going to give this a few hours, see what sells, and I will post a third part immediately after. Yo, what's up guys? So this is part 3 of our 1 mil flipping walkthrough and tutorial. Here is the history screen. You can access it through right click or just clicking history in the top left corner of the interface. And here we can see how much each item sold for, as well as the total of all of them together. There's a few that we had to drop prices by a few K from our initial attempt. The Bob shirts, I think we had to drop by 5K. And then the Ceradomin robe legs, we needed to drop by like 2K. However, everything else sold where we wanted it to. The final examined price is 1,598,473 gold. Our starting amount was 1 mil, and so we made a profit of 1,598,473 minus 1 million, and we literally turned 1 mil into almost 1.6 mil. All we did was battle staffs and then flips. Okay, so really solid bang for our buck here. When we get a bigger cash stack, the flat profit of big investments is going to give us more net profit, but here the goal was efficiently using our money. Okay, so we turned 1 mil into almost 1.6 mil in one round of flips. I believe we only flipped 6 items. Remember to use the favorites feature on the wiki. This is super helpful. It makes it so you don't really have to search for new items. You just scroll through the ones that you've already tried and that have worked for you in the past. And you'll be surprised how much you can find on one list. I mean, I probably only have a couple hundred favorited, and I rarely have to search for new ones. So use the favorites feature. You guys can also come back and watch this video anytime if you need a refresher or if you forgot something from the video. This one I feel is much better edited than my intro one. So if you guys want a remake of the intro, let me know and I'll start working on it. So thanks for watching. I will catch you guys next time with the 10 mil flipping walkthrough. Peace.